Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. I wanted to share with you what's been going on within my taking back my own power and standing in my own worth and just knowing that I matter more and that I deserve to have prosperity and peace and calmness in my existence, and that my entire life has been a road that has offered lots of bumps and bruises and twists and turns along the way, but that my destiny is to be lived experiencing true life loving compassion through everything that I involve myself with or comes my way. And that's the same for every one of you as well. You deserve to receive the blessings of everything that you've put out over a lifetime, positive, loving, and giving. And that should be returned to you without any type of hitches or manipulation or scare tactics or even techniques used to get you to doubt yourself or maybe make you feel guilty for some reason or another, or maybe feel like you're forced, when all of these things are not loving, calm, peaceful existence. It's someone else's domination or domineering personality or traits infiltrating upon your space, hoping that you'll give up, give in, and that you'll just agree. Even though everything inside of you tells you that you should stand and fight, that you should remain balanced and harmonized in this endeavor, and that you should not sway, but you should lean into your conviction and your integrity, right? I know that's what I'm doing. And I've seen so much manipulation, badgering, and fear technique thrown at me, especially since I made a stand, took my power back, and, told the partner that I had in regards to spreading my messages far and wide within the literature world, right? They are trying to use my own manipulated words against me, meaning what they manipulated me into believing I was trapped and that I was confined and that I was in over my head. If I backed out, that it would have been a complete loss. And for a while I thought that, if I just gave it more time, if I just believed, if I just counted on divine intervention, that my road would be straightened out and everything would be clear. But when I gave up my own power to this other company and I stopped researching and learning what I needed to know in order to stand shoulder to shoulder with the people that were misleading me, right, through false illusions and misguided information, downright separation of truth, if you will, because there's always a fragment of truth, but then it gets stretched out, twisted, and turned into something that may have sounded too good to be true, or that the possibility was yours to touch as long as you kept giving. And when I stopped giving, when I took my power back, when I stood on my own intuition, my own inner knowing, and I said, you've been manipulating me this entire time, using my vulnerability against me. And I was very transparent with where I was mentally, physically, and even emotionally, because I thought that you're supposed to be honest, and that when you're honest, other people will be honest too. But that's not the case. That's where they match your energy and they tell you things that they think you want to hear, or what you put out, they mirror back to you, so that it's more confusing and more of a mind twist. Because when you're finally able to clear the fog, like I have been doing through my inner healing, right? And keeping in mind that my mind was fogged to begin with the multiple sclerosis, aspect of what was hurting and harming me at that time, regardless of why, what, when, or how, right? Or even where. That affected me until I was able to rid the toxins from my body and allow the new regeneration of positive cellular growth to occur within me. And that can occur within you too. When you relieve your body of any parasites or toxins or disruptive energy that might be within your energy field, your temple, or even your environment. And I've been doing that steadily and actively, and it's not a one and done, it's a progression over time. So within a year and a half, most literally, I was able to get back all of my focus and all of my clarity in my thinking. And instead of getting pushed down or frustrated or kicked around by today's technology, I gave that part away, in which case that was wrong of me to do. And I realize that now, but it was just easier to focus on one hard thing at a time. And ridding my body of toxins and getting my form and my function back at the time seemed way more valuable to me than learning something that, I thought would be a partner to work with me, not to work against me. But when my mind started to clear and information and clarity became way so evident, and I, immediately took a stand and barked and made a lot of noise, that's when the intimidation started. It started on different levels where people were trying to match my energy. And now they're even still doing that on a larger level. So what they're telling me is that what I consider to be manipulation, side talking, hold of critical information, knowledge that would allow me to be able to make confident, strong, accurate decisions became your word against mine. We laid it out. It's not our fault that you couldn't understand. Oh, but wait a minute. Yes, it is your fault that I couldn't understand, because if you didn't speak in circles, if you didn't make something so hard to comprehend, then maybe it would be easier to have come to a more mindful conclusion about the direction in which, we were headed, opposites, because what I was looking for, they weren't. What they were giving me wasn't what they said they would, and it wasn't what I agreed to. And even though my mind is more clear now than it was then, when I said for a whole year, pretty much, you're hurting me, you're not helping me go forward, you're squashing all the momentum that, could be flowing and reaching the masses by stifling it with misguided illusions and then not performing the services that were offered and were, I purchased under the misconception of. And they said pretty much that they agreed that their tactics may not be the same tactics that others may use, but they still believe that even if the service wasn't provided the way that it was projected to, that they did their work and they should be compensated for that. And I'm like, no, because what you're saying is that you want me to settle again for your double talk and your side manipulation, when that's just not right. And that's wrong on every level. So now I have to call my bank, and I have to let my bank know that they're harassing me over days. Since I started this dispute, all I get is constant phone call after phone call after phone call, text message after text message, telling me about, you know, they're right, I'm wrong. And I'm like, would you stop badgering me and stop trying to intimidate me? Because no, they're like, it's my fault that a resolution can't be made because I'm being belligerent. And I'm like, no, that's not the case at all. I am standing firm on my ground, knowing that my intuition is leading me in the right direction, and that my knowing is what it was before, and that every time I thought you were manipulating me, you changed the energy by mirroring mine, misleading me even more, that maybe you were actually on my side. But it turns out that none of them were on my side, and none of them were trying to help me, that all of them were in it for what they could get out of it. And then I find that they work on a commission basis. So the additional drip of sales, or unfinished projects, or not serviced properly, was their technique in order to drain my bank account. And that's exactly what happened, because with each mirroring concept that was sent to me, it gave me a little bit of hope that maybe this would turn around and that it would be beneficial for everyone all around. But in the end, it was just another tactic, another technique in order to crush me, hold me, break my spirit, get me to stop portraying my message, putting literature out for the world to read, so that when you're ready to learn how to migrate through the 3D life that we all live, since we chose to incarnate here, and how to embrace and enhance it with the spirituality of learning life lessons, migrating through what we've experienced, and using the value to benefit us and offer more potential through a new mindset, a brighter, broader view on how to go forward from here, to implement everything that you learned into any future lessons that may come your way. So I am standing very firm in my tracks, and I know that there has been an injustice, and that I seek justice. I don't seek revenge. I don't seek retribution. I don't seek to hurt another individual. I seek to get the balance, that the balance within the justice, and the harmony within the endeavor, that as much effort as I put in, I should receive that much at least back, right? Not to be told at, the middle and 3/4 through that the rug was pulled out from underneath you and that you're forced to keep going or you lose your investment completely. And I knew that was wrong, and I knew that was a manipulation tactic, but I also wanted to believe in the potential of, the endeavor and how it would affect everyone by giving everyone an opportunity to learn from my insights and my experiences. So I considered it to be part of the trial, that I had to seek the balance within and come out with justice for all, not just justice for one, but an equal give and take relationship, which actually did not come into play. As a matter of fact, I still can't get into my website. It's like useless to me. And as far as my books, that's my property So they claim, but there's no copyright to prove that, even though I thought I purchased that. And that was another that's how the misguidance started from the beginning. When I said, what do I need to do from start to finish in order to be able to own my own material and, have it on the shelf? I even wanted to make sure that everybody had an equal opportunity to rise to the table to make their worth shine through their responses and their momentum. But unfortunately, mine was the only worth that shone through positive and pure, because I continued to pursue, to go forward, to perceive, to offer healing energy, to transmute all the negativity that was being sent to me, to use it to my benefit in order to catapult me even further within my own personal development, understanding, and comprehension of situations and other people. And it never, ever rested well with me to try to figure out why people do what they do, except they're only looking to suppress, dominate, and control a situation, a person, a place, a thing. It doesn't matter. But their whole game is to be superior and then to gatekeep, to keep away the pertinent information that you as the receiver would need to know in order to make clear-headed and positive mindful decisions. And if this is happening currently in your life, then I want to tell you congratulations for recognizing that you do have power and that you're not in a corner, you're not trapped, and you don't have to bend your will to allow someone else the ability to get off easier, to minimize what they've done wrong and put the burden on you and say that, you didn't have your mind right, so it's your fault. Well, no, it's not. That means that you tried an endeavor and it didn't work out with that particular partner. That also means that now that you're more clear-minded, that you'll be able to focus on the aspects of whatever the endeavor is that you don't have as much knowledge on, current knowledge, present knowledge, because technology keeps turning and turning and turning. It doesn't wait for us to catch up. It just keeps advancing. And with that, implement your endeavor with your own intuition, your own perseverance, and your own fingers. Like with me, I'm going to have to learn how to use the computer and then how to break up the books I write into chapters and then how to implement it without having to use Amazon to put my work out there for everybody to see. Because I'm also not looking to go from one shark to another shark, because all that means is that I didn't learn my lesson. And my lesson is that most things that you look for partnerships in is, beneficial when that partnership is on the up and up. But the first minute that you get the inkling that there's something going on within, then you need to follow that thread and pull it right out, and you'll see that everything else will start to unravel. Not what you're trying to do, but what someone is trying to do to you, to try to get you twisted in your mindset, or make you feel guilty or responsible for, or, make you feel bad about the fact that you put your best foot forward and are going in a positive direction for you personally and for your environment and for your community, right? Regardless of who that may be, like family, friend, foe, neighborhood, whatever, work, whatever community of people that, you surround yourself with. It's an equal give and take relationship when you have partners. And when you have people in your life that don't give you equal give and take, it's okay to shine that light and say, well, I'm stopping now. And even if you're a quarter of the way or halfway through your investment in you, and when it came to dealing with outside individuals, if they let you down, don't get discouraged. Don't put your dream down. Just look toward an easier way in order to implement it that will take less stress from you and give you more of an ability to learn as you grow. And maybe if you're battling paralyzation like me, it's hard to put your mind in two separate spaces at the same time and achieve both in significant strides. So and I'm going to do this, if I spend 25% of the day focusing on my learning and my understanding of, what I don't know, and letting it fill me with the knowledge and wisdom so that I may grow and evolve, and then spend maybe 25% of the day, working out my body and trying to lift my leg, and then 25% of the day, working on my mouth, my voice, my connect between what's in my brain and what flows easily out my mouth, and, and putting the tone and the inflection back into my voice and allowing a story to be told with the words that I sing or say or bring to light. And then 25% of the day, sleeping, resting. And then that would be a good way to break up the day and add those implements into your life so that you can start learning, growing, and achieving what it is that you're looking for without having to rely on outside influences. But that doesn't mean if a good person or a good group come to you that you should not acknowledge it. You should read the energy. You should see how, over time, if their energy stays consistent or if it starts to change or if it becomes pushy or domineering, because then that's not good either. So you need to watch. You need to be careful. Any partnership won't push you when it's positive and pure, and they won't try to mislead you, and they won't misguide you. They won't give you a drib and a drab. They'll present the whole thing in one shiny package, and there won't be any diversions from that, and it'll be just as it's projected. And I believe that that's also possible. And I believe that when you take the first step and you initiate the empowerment back into your life by taking control of your future, your destiny, and your present, that you will be gifted with both blessings and disguises. And I believe this because the blessings come from the divine and the disguises come from the negative entities that are looking to grab you back and put you back into their clutches. So be wary. Don't be dismissive of everything. Just read your energy and listen to your intuition and dig down deep within your inner self and rely on what it is that you just know. Because 9 out of 10 times, you are right. What you're feeling, what you're sensing, the energy is the way you're reading it, it's correct. So just trust. And then believe that you're never trapped and you're never in a corner. And that no matter how far you've gone, whether you've been pushed there, manipulated into believing that you walked there willingly, or if, tactics of anxiety or fear or grief or foggy mindset or whatever that may be used by the negative to try to pull you back in. Don't allow that to stick. Just be like, that was a time in my past when toxins were infiltrating my body and hurting my insides, making me unable to clearly discern when there is so much toxicity and poison in my brain. And that could come in a multitude of forms. In my case, it was parasites, and it was their waste. And at some point, maybe they got into my blood, and maybe they got into my heart, or maybe the stress of the entire thing it was too much to bear, and it cultivated, it continued to bubble over and bubble over and bubble over until it exploded in a stroke. And I'm not really foggy-headed from that, and I'm not really completely pushed back by that. I have my hand, I can grip it, I can speak, I can somewhat see, just like I did before. I can use my arm, I can carry things, I can lift my own self up, when in the beginning of this I couldn't. And now I have to work on my core and my leg and my foot and my ankle on the left side, so that I walk, skip, run, jump, and dance. I see myself doing that. I've always seen myself being a goof and having fun and moving about. I've always been one to exercise and to stretch and to incorporate a lot of movement into my life. And I get frustrated when I try to do that and my leg won't lift. But I also realize that nothing happens overnight, and that anything worth having, you have to work at, you have to perfect, and you have to enhance and make it right. And that takes courage, determination, motivation, and resilience. And I'm filled with all of that. As a matter of fact, my sister-in-law, my ex-sister-in-law, said to me a while back, you are the one thing that I know for sure, that no matter what happens in your life, you never roll over, you never give in to it, and you never, get suppressed by it. She's like, as long as I've known you, and she's known me for about 35 years, it's been a while, right? She goes, as long as I've known you, you've been bouncing up stronger and wiser and happier every time someone pushed you down or knocked you over. And I'm like, some things never change. And she's like, well, it's a good thing, because it's good to see the, vibrant, feisty you, continuing to move in the path of forward motion and being resilient and having a loving heart while you do it. Because I don't know, she's like, a lot of people who could have endured what you've endured, especially multiple sclerosis and a stroke back to back, especially being manipulated through a bad mindset and being, led to believe one thing only to find out another. She's like, you're the strongest person I know. And I like had to cry. I'm like, I'm sure you know way more stronger people than me. And she's like, no. She goes, as long as I've known you, for honest, you've always, gotten up and ran into the fire. And you've saved yourself and you've saved others. And you never even asked for a thank you or anything like that. You did it because you believe in you and you believe in them. And I'm like, I believe in life. I believe in living life to the best of your ability. I believe in nothing happens to you to hurt you, but it happens for you to learn from. And I am very happy to have received every learning lesson that I've endured and overcome and achieved success with throughout my entire lifetime. And some people may look at me and say, well, what kind of success? And I'm like, I open my eyes every day and my heart is still loving and still filled with joy. And my compassion is strong. And I forgive me and I forgive the environment in which, hurt me. And I forgive whatever may come my way, not to release them or that, but to uplift me, to give me less of a burden on my plate, less of something that I have to hold on to that might bring me down or put me into a negative space. And when you forgive, you do it more for you than you do for the other party, because the other party doesn't have to know about it. As long as you know that you did your best and that you went in with a loving, warm heart, with clear intent, and that, the situation or the scenario might have, misled you because of one aspect, one reason or another. But today you stand in full clarity, and today you stand in full resilience and determination, letting motivation and courage lead your way. It's doing that for me. It can do that for you too. And that's because I believe in me and I believe in you and the potential that we both have, that we all have. And I also believe that our interconnected link that unites us all allows us to share universal consciousness of everybody's movements, thoughts, feelings, and sensations. It's whether or not you let the negative ones infiltrate and hold you down, or if you rise high with the loving, lighter aspects of life and allow growth and evolution to effortlessly reach your space. And as a trickle-out effect, when other people see and notice, then they'll also feel more comfortable in their own space to take that step into the unknown, into the divinity that's within them and all around them. The divinity that's within you and all around you. Me too. I heard birds. I don't know if you heard them, but they were talking, sending encouragement to lighten your load, to stand tall, true, and proud of you. For you have come a great distance. You have overcome a large amount of land, separating you from who you were to who you are today. And where you want to go tomorrow is just right outside your reach. Just pull it closer. Use your conviction, your motivation, and your determination, and widen your perception. And see yourself in the middle of the happy resolution, the ending that you've always dreamed to have, where love and light and compassion and empathy uplift each other, and no one tries to suppress another through manipulations, scare tactics, or any type of hurt, harm, or hinder. My lovely collective, if you're going through this too, I am sending you tons of encouraging energy so that you can effortlessly migrate through that clarity, wisdom, and knowledge of everything that you've been, everything that you are, and everything that's waiting for you to become easily and effortlessly lands in your energy and awakens your inner light, that your fire burn bright. I know you can do this. I know I can do this. And I know I won't let those trying to make me second guess my position any room to grow, because I don't dwell. I don't give it life. and neither should you. Give you life, let you grow. That's the best seed you can sow, is the seed of your own existence, your own future, your heightened mindset, and your loving, compassionate heart. And that all starts from within before you can give it out. My lovely collective, no matter what you do, I am always wishing you well and holding my light for you to see. Love and light, peace and joy.